I call to order the Village of Westmont Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting for Wednesday, December 12th, 2022. Before the roll call, I would advise everyone that the video is inoperative tonight. We do have audio. Everything will be recorded, but there is no video. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Van Buren is here. Commissioner Lavoie?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Scales?
Here.
Commissioner Berry?
Here.
Commissioner Peterson?
Here.
And Chairman Carmichael.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Everyone rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And while I have everyone standing, anyone who gives testimony is required to be sworn in. So please stand, raise your right hand, and swear that any testimony you give will be the whole truth, so help you God. Thank you. Another reminder for everyone in the room, please silence any of your electronic devices so we don't have any interruptions. And second reminder for anyone who gives testimony must sign in. I saw you signing in there, sir. And we have sign in the hallway and at the podium. First item is the approval of the minutes of the October 12th regular meeting. I assume you've all read through them. We have a motion to approve.
So moved, Lavoie. Second. Scales.
A motion and a second.
Okay.
Discussion of the minutes? Seeing none, roll call.
And Scales second. Okay. Commissioner Lavoie?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Scales?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes, and Chairman Carmichael.
Yes. Another reminder for commissioners, if you make a motion or a second tonight, would you please give your name because the video is off and for the audio recording. At this point of the regular meeting, we have open forum. If there's anyone present who would like to address the commission on any item that's not on our agenda tonight, this is your chance. Seeing none of that, we'll move on. I'll quickly review our public hearing procedures. First, the petitioner applicant is introduced and gives his or her petition. And then second, we have staff comments on the petition, followed by anyone from the public who would like to question or comment either the staff or the petitioner. And everyone please know that our village attorney is present, Mr. Zemanak, for any consultation, and followed by, of course, after the public comes the commissioners' questions and comments, and finally a vote. And just as a point, the findings of fact petitioners have presented, all of our votes include the findings of fact. First item under new business is PZC 105-2022, a request from L Boutique and Spa Limited Liability Corporation regarding the property at 124 North Cass Avenue in Westmont for the following. A special use permit request for a beauty parlor located on the ground floor in the B1 Limited Business District. Good evening.
Good evening. So my name is Laura, and that's my husband Andy, and we are today here because we're asking for the business license. And as far as I understand, we have to be present in this meeting because you guys have some questions. So moving forward, we are residents of Westmont for 7+ years, and we want to open new business.
Hi, my name is Audrius Vasiliauskas. So I'm husband. My wife Laura. Also, we're living together, of course, 7+ years. I am own HVAC company and also development, and we try to work together and open a new business here.
All right. Staff.
Hello, Commission. So this is a special use permit, as the chair mentioned, for a beauty parlor located on the ground floor in the B1 district. So originally the petitioner came to the village or approached the village after purchasing the property at 124 North Cass for a massage therapy establishment. They originally came with, including the services that are listed in the staff report that I'll go over. They had massage as one of those services provided, which requires a massage license through the clerk's office. They subsequently removed that service, so it requires a special use permit for the beauty parlor located on the ground floor, as we had to reestablish what the use was. So a little background on the property. 124 is a commercial development located between Irving and Norfolk Street on North Cass. The property is around 4,500 square feet. It's right north of Westmont Floral, if you know where that building is, and across the street from the church and the parking lot. It has historically, and as far as our records show in the village, it has historically been a D. Pollock glass and mirror for as long as we've seen it. The space is about 3,700 square feet. The rear of the building has a garage and some room for vehicles to park. The garage portion or the port, I should say, is for deliveries. And it is shown in their floor plan as well. As I stated, it is a special use permit, so those special use standards come into play. I'm not going to go through each one. They are listed in the staff report. If you do have questions, I'll be happy to answer any related to those. So, as I said, they originally approached the village as a massage establishment, but has subsequently removed that from their services provided. The services that they are providing include waxing, nails, facials, and other beauty services. They did note in their application that they will have a retail component within their services. They noted that the hours of operation will be 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and they will have 3 to 5 service providers as well. I'll also note that they will be having a remodel on the interiors. There will be some type of build out, I believe. So that's the basics of the special use, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for staff, and if you want to talk to the petitioner for any questions.
Can I say something before?
Certainly.
Because
Please.
it's a little bit not correct what information. So what happened, first I came in downstairs to the right, and I said, I'm opening a new business, and I have nothing, I don't know nothing, so can you please guide me step by step what I have to do? First I spoke with Alicia. Alicia said, this is my department.
This was in the clerk's office that you were talking to downstairs.
Yes. So I came in, I said, I'm fresh, please guide me step by step what I have to do. So first I dealt with Alicia. She said, you have to fill out the form. I took the form. I took my time with my husband. I filled it out. I paid $200. After I did that, apparently we said, no, this is not the way it goes. Now you have to do B1. Okay, I said, give me all the papers. I'm going to do B1. I did B1 permit. Then after B1, we said, no, not B1. Now we need special license. So I came in no, nothing. I asking you guys what to do. And each time I apply everything and I have proof, I paid $200. When we said B1, okay, he said, no problem, I will do B1. I did B1 when we said special license. Then I have with clerk issue, I sent everybody email, we send me a paper saying with liquor license something. And I said, I'm not doing any liquor, so can you just correct the wording and I will sign that and we're going to go through that. So he was very strict. He said, no, I will not do that. And I said, can we just send me email you saying you're not going to do that, because I'm not doing liquor. He said, no. I said, is it recorded phone call? He said, no. And he said, I'll be stopping here. So then in the morning, I included Alicia. I think I included you, Scott Williams, correct? Mm-hmm. And I said, I spoke with officer yesterday and I asked him to correct. And he was very rude. And I said, I'm not doing nothing wrong to correct, and follow your. So that's what everybody aware of. And we are here because we're calling special license, but I don't know why it's special. We don't even know why it's special. And now we're saying, like, if I'm going to add massage, we don't have to go through special license. So we are confused because we do what you say, and when we say no, now we're going this route. So we lost. We don't know what's going on.
And not specifically, we should say massage. Massage is one from the services what will be provided. We specifically saying it will be luxury, not even standard level, the spa. Spa.
And they never mentioned it's going to be a massage place. I said, from the day one I stepped in, I said, this is going to be a luxury day spa. I never mentioned massages.
Boutique and retail.
Yeah, like it's a retail. So what it is, like it's like all the front is going to be retail, like with beauty products and like clothing. And then in the back we're going to have services. But they never said it's massages, like only.
Staff, what do you say to that?
So I can't speak much for the massage licensing process, as that's through the clerk's office. As I said, when they originally approached the village, they did have the massage services as one of the listed services for this business. And I encourage Zevanak if you have any input on the licensing, because that's not in my repertoire.
Yeah, I was not involved in that, but unfortunately, sometimes when you apply for a business license, they review it first, and then they send it down to zoning, the community development department, to look at zoning aspects of it. And they might send it off to a person to look at it if massage was potentially listed, whether you need a massage establishment license. So all these different departments look at it, and it's possible you got some contradictory information. If so, apologize. But if it's clear that you're not offering massage, that's not an issue. And if you get your approvals tomorrow night from the village board, then your business license will issue.
It's very understandable. The disappointment was like, she goes to the village, she's submitting the papers, then next time coming with something else, and they asking for the same papers again and again and again. She submit the same kind of papers 3 times. And it's just, and specifically, if she not applying for liquor license, I'm sorry for my language, she have rights to say, please correct, we not requested. We follow the village rules. We hear and we understand. We will want to continue follow, but we need to clarify why is that, because she in spa business for 20 years. She still continue working for 4 Seasons in Chicago, and she opens her second location.
So we're gonna have standards. It's not gonna be just like around the corner, and we're gonna do quality. And I think it's gonna be great for Westmont.
And plus, it's gonna be a huge retail store.
I would say this, as far as like the business license stuff goes, that's not what this commission reviews. So you might want to reach out to the village manager if you have a concern about how the process went, and I'm sure he'd be happy to hear from you and talk you through it and address any problems. But this commission, if you just focus on the use, the special use, etc., we can, they can.
Okay, I understand. So I want to clarify. It's the massages will be one of that boutique services. Let's say some people coming to the facials, nails. They want to have the massage. This is just normal massage, like you go to the normal place. We're not talking. I'm sorry for my language. It's not kind of be like sexual stuff.
But that's what we asked.
This is gonna be the licensed the massage therapies. Plus, will be facials, nails, kind of full spa. It's not like looks like from the Scott, right?
Correct.
Set is the apply for massage. Absolutely not. We're applying for the L Boutique and Spa. So please, if we could saying, we would like to open L Boutique and Spa, including retail.
Full day spa.
So are you having the massage?
Yes, we will
As
have the massage as the service also.
So originally when you approached the village, you said you were going to have the massage. You came back after the massage license process started and said you were going to remove the service, so we had to recategorize you as a different use. And the last time I spoke with Laura it was determined that you were not going to have the service.
So let me tell this, like it's like that's what I'm like having hard communication. When I came in, I never said I want to open the massage spa. I said I want to open the day spa and including all my services. Then you said, oh, so you are massage. I said no, but so you mentioned all this like this is massage. I said this is everything: massage, nails, and facials. So I'm not thinking like a day spa, just massage. If you open just like massage NV, that's a massage.
I understand. The reason the massage license portion popped up when you originally applied is because you were offering any type of service related to massage. That's why they went through that process through a clerk's office. From our last interaction, when you submitted this application, you indicated that you were not going to be providing massages further.
Excuse me, so I interrupt because since the building's sitting right now for the 6 months with closed windows with the papers, we thought we're gonna open the business and gonna apply for the second whatever requirements for add the massage service.
Because the officer said it's gonna take a couple months. I said how long it's gonna take.
I understand.
That's what we was planning to do because when she's coming, she looks like she's submitting the papers, and the next day you're coming with something else. So from day one, specifically, she said what she needs, what kind of documentation she needs to open spa, L Boutique and Spa. From day one, it was listed as L Boutique and Spa.
Never was mentioned massage.
So why she's have to go 3 times, to submit you same papers again and again?
I think we're back to where we started, which is the process. And again, I suggest you talk to the village manager outside of this body. As far as massages go, whether it's a very, very small part of your business or whether it's all you do, in the village of Westmont and in many communities, you have to get a massage establishment license. So I understand it's an upscale boutique spa, but if you have massage at all, you have to first get a massage license. So you can open up and do everything else, you just can't have massage services until you get that license, which has to be approved by the village board.
I understand. So as a recommendation from the village, we would like to improve that place as soon as possible because we like to remove all the old stuff from the building. We like to even improve exterior. And same thing, I would like to call to fire department to come up look at the building. I would like to call to the code enforcement, and we would like to move forward. But if that massage therapy license takes longer, like all another ones, we would like to do like in 2 phases. Let's say we're doing phase 1, whatever she wants to do it, and then same time we're applying and go to that process. But at least we can go get this going. We would like to have nice building in the downtown of Westmont, not be covered with the papers from old place left. So
yeah, and my guess is if you have to do interior work and maybe exterior work and apply for permits and have inspections, if you apply now for a massage establishment license and it's approved, by the time you're ready to open, you'll probably have your license in hand.
So that's what we're asking the village to guide us. If we could do all together right away, would be nice.
And save
if
some
not,
time.
Save some time. If not, we're gonna go like in phase 1, phase 2, and just asking help from the village, to help us to guide, and we're gonna follow by the village requirements, to continue to do something.
Mr. Chair, if I may speak.
Please.
I'm Deputy Director of Community Development for Planning. My name's Joseph Hennerfind. Just mostly for this group. So we hear your frustration, and we apologize for that. But there are several processes that kind of overlap. So I want to let the commission know. I want to explain some of the things that you said to the commission so they know what is like some of the standard operating procedures versus what is being requested tonight. So the first thing you heard the applicant mention was a business license. So business licenses aren't considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission. However, whenever any business wants to open in Westmont, one of the first steps is they apply for a business license. Part of that process is when Alicia accepts a business license, it's routed to Planning and Zoning for a use analysis. And that use analysis is based off of what the petitioner or the applicant writes on the application. And usually we look at all the list of uses and we do our best to categorize what kind of use is this. And a beauty salon inherently does not allow massage. However, a massage therapy establishment can have the other beauty services that you've listed. So when we first received that license, we categorized this as a massage therapy establishment that happened to be doing the other beauty services. And that did not require a special use. So it would not have had to come before this group. It still would have needed a business license. It still would have needed a B1 permit, which I'll elaborate on in a second. Still would need permits for build-out. But basically, it does need a massage license if they're going to offer massage services. So when they filled out their business license application, it listed massage as one of the services. Mm-hmm. Then the clerk's office says, well, you need a massage license, which is probably the same application as a liquor license because it goes through the same process. So it's probably a very similar application. They probably use the same application for both because they mentioned liquor license. I think that's why it's on there. Typically, the massage license takes time in the background research. So typically that is done very much on the front end. So if you've ever seen a massage license come before the board, if you've ever watched one of those, or Commissioner Berry when you were on the board, usually any of the zoning requirements were not moved forward until the massage license background was ready to go. So basically you would look at both those at the same time. In this case, they were steered to apply for the massage license, and then in that process, they decided that, you know what, we would just want to move forward with the rest of our business. Well, when they decided to move forward with the rest of our business and we took massage off the list of uses, we said, well, what is your business? And we said, well, now we classify you as a beauty salon. And the beauty salon is what is required to come before this. Because we look at the impact. Is there traffic impact? Is there noise impact? Usually a beauty salon doesn't have those types of things, so it's not a big discussion topic, not that it can't be tonight. But so that is why you were steered towards the planning and zoning. Now, the last thing you mentioned is a B1 permit. So a B1 permit is required for any business that goes into the downtown. We still have the application for the B1 permit, provided this case goes to the board. We add on your B1 permit request. So it's more of a record keeping. So when this project goes before the board, they will consider a special use approval and a B1 permit approval. Yes, it kind of duplicates some of the applications, but it's just because you're in the downtown and because of the type of use you are, and then the change as you were going through the process. That's what made it cumbersome, so I want to apologize. However, we're doing the best we can with kind of the information that's circulating around. And hopefully, and I can answer any questions to that process. However, what is before us tonight is the special use for a beauty salon. So I just wanted to clarify and can answer any questions.
All right, Joe, just to clarify, so, I mean, clearly it sounds like they want to do massage. So then tonight, are we really looking at a massage parlor down the road, or are we looking at...
Based on their representations, and which is what the staff report says, recommend just focusing on the request on the agenda, which is beauty and day spa. And the ordinance, which is going to be before the village board tomorrow, is going to state that massage services are specifically prohibited unless the applicant obtains a massage establishment license from the village. And, the village does certain annual inspections and can check social media and see if massages are in fact taking place without a license, and I assume that won't be the case, and they can apply for a license in due course if they want to offer that.
Thank you.
And if they decide to add that service after they have a beauty salon that's open and operating, it wouldn't add a special use to come back before us. It would require a massage license approval that goes before the board, and then John can correct me if I'm wrong, perhaps a modification to the B1 permit that they might get.
I think we can build that in tomorrow night, so that's not necessary.
So if they decide to add massage and they get the license squared away, then it does not need to come back before us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think we've beaten the massage. We've massaged the massage issue, and it does not apply to this commission. And apologize for perhaps confusion and some lack of understanding between various people in the village, and whether wordings or what. I think we can move on to the commissioners at this time. Commissioner Lavoie, would you like to begin?
Sure. I just have a couple of questions. First, for staff. On the south side of the building, there's a parking lot. It doesn't look like it doesn't mention the staff report there's any kind of crossover for parking here. Is that just not required for the special use, but it's something that it looks like it's a common use parking lot?
I don't know personally who owns that specific parking lot. I know in our downtown, I believe we revoked the parking requirements, if I'm correct, to a degree.
I can expand on that.
This meets the parking for what he has on site, right?
So the parking lot that you're speaking of, I believe, is owned by Westmont Florist.
Yes.
So no, they do, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they don't have any ownership or any rights in that parking lot unless they strike up an agreement with Westmont Florist.
Okay.
But about 2 or 3 years ago, we removed parking requirements in the downtown.
Yeah, so it's a non-issue, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure
there's
it's a non-issue.
we don't, basically the text amendment that we processed, we said that if anyone had an existing parking lot, they can't reduce the number of parking spaces without planning and zoning approval.
Okay.
So they're not reducing parking. But any building in the downtown was grandfathered in for any parking that they may have had. So if they had 0 parking spaces, any permitted or special use can move in without requiring additional parking.
Got it. Understood. Thank you. Any other uses in the building other than this? It'll only be used for this business, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And then thirdly, in looking at the building and looking at the existing condition of the building, I was just concerned maybe if they do have to come back, if they plan on doing anything with signs or awnings or, it's pretty distinct out there that it's a glass and mirror shop, or are we going to have a sign out front?
We're going to have a sign, yes.
And that would meet the sign ordinance requirements?
Yes. So they would need to get a permit for signage, and then we would evaluate their signage to what the requirements are.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they don't have to come back here for that reason. So if whatever sign you'd like to do, just make sure that, it's not a third cycle through the...
And who you could get the requirements for signs, so before I plan everything, who I have to contact you?
I can provide that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just want to make sure that, it's smooth from here on for you. So with that, I have no further questions, and I would support the license.
Thank you. Commissioner Scales.
Sure, thanks.
Special use, I'm sorry.
Well, congrats on bringing a new business to Westmont. We appreciate that. Chris actually asked one of the questions I had. You mentioned is there another location that you have going now? No, so this is your first one?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, you stole a couple of the ones I had, so I'm pretty good. Thank you very much. Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Barry.
Thank you.
Certainly.
It looks good. Thank you guys for choosing Westmont. So I like it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Commissioner Peterson.
You say you're going to have retail in there, but I didn't see anything in as far as what you're going to have. It says women's clothes. I don't see anywhere
I
on the
put it-
floor plan either where there's.
So it's working with designers. She put it through retail. We have some. I could email to Westcott. We have already visuals. She didn't put the shelving because not flowing, but it's gonna be one side completely gonna be beauty products. What we're gonna use for facial, so it's gonna be everything retail, candles, like beauty products, like SPF. Our side is gonna be completely clothing,
What type of clothing?
dresses, coats, shirts, pants.
Okay. Because it would have been nice to have seen exactly what's going to be in there, and as far
I
as
could
the-
bring you some.
We have already, I'm sorry to interrupt you, we have already renderings, and it's basically you visually can see it, what's going to be.
Okay.
And it's going to be see-through through the windows. You're going to have nice, even, see-through, through that front entrance from outside.
I don't think there's any windows on the side of the building, right?
Not on the side, from the
Are-
front.
I know, but
No
are
windows
you
on
going to
the
put
side,
any
no.
windows on the side?
No.
It's everything gonna stay as it's just you walk in. It's gonna be a front desk. One side is gonna be retail with products. Other one is gonna be women clothing. No men, just women clothing.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I had. I was mainly interested in the
That's
retail.
discrimination if no man's clothing. Excuse me.
Sorry about that.
Commissioner Thomas.
Welcome. A rough start, but I think hopefully smooth sailing from here on in. And I hope that welcome. We want you here.
Thank you.
Might not have felt like that at the beginning, but by the end you will.
Now we want to because we see how Hinsdale grow, and we want to grow here too. We need more stores, right?
We live in Westmont, like we said,
Yeah.
for 7+ years. We lived on the Cass and 57th Street, so we love the village. We like to also be part of the village, and like I said, I hope this will be also incomes to the village as well, because those days retail on the boutique on the
Products.
on the products is going very well, and she loves her business. She loves what she do. She in that business for 20 years, and I believe we will be so successful. So
And the better you do, the better we do.
Exactly. That's what we want to have. Good for everybody.
I support it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Van Buren.
You've been in this business for some time. As an owner, as a proprietor, have you been have you owned a business like this before?
No, but I was absorbing why we doing what now, because we have 3 children and we were little, so I don't want any commitment when we little. Now we're a little bit bigger and we're ready for little to grow.
And you also own a business?
yes, I own HVAC business, and also I developer. So current jobs I'm doing in Hinsdale, Four Heights, University Park, commercial and residential.
Okay, good. Well, good luck to you, and hope you can iron out some of these little difficulties you have in the front, and that you can get it up and going soon.
I believe just only was miscommunication. I believe how you explained today it was clearer up everything, because you explained from business license you're going to B1, from the B1 go to there.
You did everything very clear,
Perfectly clearly, and understandable. When she comes, she's not in kind of construction business, but since she owns the business, owns the property, I told her, let's go.
Do herself.
Do yourself. You just keep, and introduce yourself to the community, to the village, because you have to go quite often, to the village. And so, just basically it. So if we show some kind of voice raise or something, just don't understand me as wrong. We just kind of might be emotionally, but we try to. We not try. That's why we don't want to hide anything. That's why we thought if we have to, for now, remove the calling massage from the services, better we remove it, applying for the later on. But if we could do in once, because for sure we want to have it full service at our spa. So.
And also in regards massage, I have to ask you everything what applied through Scott, right?
The massaging will not be through me. That'd be through the clerk's office.
Okay. For my part, I noted that you intend to be open 7 days a week and 12 hours a day, and you have a staff of 3 to 5 people. You would.
So it would be morning shifts.
Will you double shift? You work 12-hour shifts, or
no, like morning shifts and evening shifts. So usually, technicians who have kids would work morning shifts, and then go to kids, and then like who doesn't have kids do evenings. Why I do till 9 p.m. because people, let's say, like I have kids. If you don't have babysitter, you can't go anywhere. Your husband comes back, you could go to the spa. That's why till 9 p.m. We might close at 8 p.m. if it's.
But would your business be all by appointment? Appointment
no,
only, or you
walk-ins,
take walk-in?
Walk-ins, yeah, that's why.
Okay.
We'll be open like to anybody, anytime. Like you walk in, and if you're available, we will be there.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for the attorney.
Absolutely.
If that's appropriate. We heard the petitioners say that they had renderings and could provide those. If they can be provided before this moves to the board, does that need to amend the motion, or can they just provide those to staff, and can we add those to the board packet?
They're not part of this process.
Well, the renderings of the interior.
No, what I'd recommend is that it goes straight to the village board, and if the village board has any serious concerns and wants to refer it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission, they can do so.
Okay, I just wanted. So we're not expecting any additional materials before you go to the board. I just wanted to establish that.
Okay. Understood. All right. Under PZC 105-2022, request from LB Boutique and Spa for a special use permit request for a beauty parlor located at the ground floor, B1 Limited Business District. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Scales.
Second Barry.
Thomas. Okay. Motion Scales, second Barry. Discussion? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lavoie?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Scales?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Van Buren votes yes, and Chairman Carmack.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it, folks. You have our recommendation to move forward to the village board, and understand you're already scheduled.
Actually, I believe they'll be scheduled for January 12th. Staff will follow up with an email to you tomorrow and give you your instructions.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a nice holiday. Thank you.
so much. Thank you.
Good night.
That was hard.
Next item under PZC 110-2022, a request from SARC US Limited Liability Corporation regarding the property located at 6320 South Cass Avenue in Westmont for the following: an amended site and landscaping plan approval for a medical clinic in the C1 Commercial Business District. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Tom Libo. I am an owner's rep for SARC USA. We've actually been through this process once before. We're really just here because we parted ways with the first tenant we had. We have a secondary tenant we've been working with. They requested some additional parking, so we've been working with staff to go from, I think it was only 21 spaces and adding an additional 10 spaces. Those spaces will all be pervious, so they will not impact stormwater runoff, anything like that. So I'm here to answer any questions. That's really all I got for you.
All right, I think most of the people on the board remember the previous one in the old bank building down there. And staff comment?
So I'll go ahead and give a refresher. I don't believe Commissioner Berry or Peterson were on the commission. So about a year ago, maybe even a little bit longer, a site plan approval, and I think there was a variance to front yard setback, and a plat of consolidation, I believe, was part of it as well. So this project came through this commission about a year ago to build. It's a little bit less than a 4,000 square foot building. At the time, it was an immediate care medical facility. So it was not a special use; it was a permitted use. However, they were just meeting the minimum requirements for parking. Now, if you don't know this property, this used to be a Chase Bank. It's just north of Papa Picero's. It is mostly parking lot at this point. It's almost 100% covered with parking lot. And there was a considerable reduction in the parking lot, and there was a fairly sizable green grassy area behind the building. The petitioner went through most of the permitting process to get ready to build the building, lost their tenant, found another medical office user, but in this case, I believe it's it's not an immediate care facility. They specialize in pain management, and actually, I think it's non-opioid pain management. It looks like the business is opening many locations all at once. It's a great expansion of the business. However, the user said, "You know what? We'd like a few more parking spaces." Now, they had the space on the site because they had the green grassy area. They have not met any thresholds to provide stormwater. They are doing impervious, so that from the project that was before us before to the project that is now, there's no net increase in impervious. And they're adding about 10 parking spaces to do that. They kind of wrapping them around the building a little bit on the backside. They had to move their dumpster enclosure. They had a requirement for 2 more trees, which they added, and they kind of reconfigured the landscape behind the building a little bit. Our processes don't allow for administrative changes after they come through this commission. A lot of communities do allow that, so staff changes after you approve it that are within reason. Our procedures don't permit that, so we had to request the petitioner to come back. All I provided to you was I provided you with the previous site plan that was approved and then the new site plan. So the elevations are the same. It's going to be the same building as was proposed before, just a little bit bigger parking lot. And as always, we're available for any questions.
Thank you. Anyone from the public? Seeing none, we'll move to the commissioners. Commissioner Scales, would you like to start?
Sure, I don't really have a lot of questions. I'm just curious, where are the extra 10 parking spaces at?
The back.
They'd be to the west side of the building, so behind the building from the street.
From the street, okay. Yeah, I do vaguely remember this. Okay. I really don't have any additional comments. Thank you.
Let's go around, Chris, Commissioner Lavoie.
Well, both of these cases in front of us tonight are helpful to me because I need a massage and I need pain management. Anyway, I remember this application well. I don't really have any issues at all. Good luck with the new tenant. I'm good to go.
All right. Commissioner
I have
Peterson?
no questions. I looked everything over.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Commissioner Thomas?
10 more spots, same place. I mean, same
That's right.
same plan. Supported it then, I support it now.
Thank you.
Commissioner Van Buren?
No problem. Sorry I had to come back.
Commissioner Berry?
No,
I didn't forget
Staff
you this time.
summed it up. It was good. So thank you.
I'm trying to remember the last time. Was there a question? I remember the setback in front. Was there an issue on parking lot, on lighting in the parking lot?
No, they meet all the parking lot requirements. I believe at the time Commissioner Lavoie asked if there was any parking cross access. There was none available, so it's still the same. There's still not any parking cross access. But the fire department did review the plan. They're okay with the little extension that still goes back there. But no, lighting met the requirements. When it came in for permit, we evaluated that. And although there are slight revisions to the permits, it's still meeting that. So,
Would this be a daytime office operation?
Yes.
Okay, well, any more discussion? Then Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion
This,
to approve.
amended site and landscaping plan approval for a medical clinic in the C1 Commercial Business District.
So move to Lavoie.
Second, Scales.
All right, moved and seconded. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
yes.
Commissioner Scales?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes. Commissioner Lavoie?
Yes.
And Chairman Carmichael.
Yes. Okay, sir. Then
I will just add, this is on the board agenda for tomorrow night. We advanced it right away, number one, because they have had a permit in the door. They are anxious to demo the building and move forward. And the last meeting of the board, which is on December 29th, is canceled due to the holiday. So we advanced this one, and the next case we're going to go through for the board agenda for tomorrow night.
okay, sir.
Much appreciated.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Next item is PZC 106-2022, a request from the Village of Westmont regarding the following. Text amendments to the zoning ordinance to remove video gaming cafes as a special use in the B2 General Business District and to remove video gaming as a permitted accessory use in the B1 Limited Business District. Mr. Henneford, I believe you're going to present on this.
I'm going to go ahead and do a lead-in, and then I'll turn this over to Attorney Zemanek. I've had a few questions from a few of the commissioners, so I wanted to first kind of give a little background before John leads in with his background as well, really to the difference between the video gaming cafe and video gaming as an accessory use. Because what it is there are two sections of code we're looking at amending, and they address two different things. So the first I want to address is video gaming cafes. So what are video gaming cafes? Those are where businesses where the primary use is video gaming. So if you know the ones in town, they usually have someone's name like Penny's or Dottie's. When these used to come before us, actually at the inception of video gaming, we didn't define video gaming cafes. We said video gaming was a use that was accessory, and it was you needed a liquor license to serve, and those were usually tied to a restaurant. So a lot of these cafes, before they were defined as cafes, had some food service element of it. So they had to show us menus, they had to show us that they had a kitchen and some of those services. As we developed through our video gaming knowledge, we learned that these video gaming cafes really weren't operating as restaurants, so we redefined them as the primary use on those was video gaming. We amended the code to call them video gaming cafes, and then we defined where they could be. So the current code allows video gaming cafes in the B2 district exclusively. So those primary use video gaming can only exist in the B2 currently, and that's as a special use. So the text amendment that John will be discussing is that we are removing that as a special use, so it won't be a special use, it won't be a permitted use. Any new video gaming cafes in the Village of Westmont will not be permitted. Now, there are some clauses that guarantee those that are already here can exist, and a new business owner can come and buy it, provided they get the adequate liquor licensing, but that is what a video gaming cafe is. The other is what is video gaming as an accessory use. So there's also a text amendment to change video gaming as an accessory use. So video gaming as an accessory use is where you have a liquor license to serve. So that's our taverns, which we only have 2 taverns, and that's our restaurants, not all restaurants, but primarily restaurants. And that is where video gaming is accessory to their use. So they are a restaurant that happens to have video gaming. They are a tavern that happens to have video gaming. So accessory use video gaming is permitted in the B1, so our downtown, in the B2, in the B3, in the OR, and in the manufacturing districts. So those are the districts that can be permitted in. The text amendment tonight is to remove that option in the B1, in the downtown exclusively. So a restaurant on Ogden Avenue in the B2 district can still technically request video gaming as an accessory use if this text amendment moves forward as it's proposed. So those, I had several questions from commissioners, so I just wanted to clarify that before we got into it, that they're two distinct things and two distinct changes. And with that, I will turn it over to John. And the reason that John has been so gracious to lead this is because there's been a lot of discussion at the board level, at Admin Finance Committee, and obviously Liquor Commission has impact on this as well. So because Planning and Zoning and staff hasn't had those conversations, John's been a party to many of those, so that's why he's going to lead the conversation.
Okay, excellent. Mr. Zemanek, please.
Since the village board first voted to allow video gaming within the village, it kept a close eye on video gaming to see how it would expand, how these establishments would operate. It kind of changed from time to time how they were regulated. I know Commissioner Barry was part of that ongoing discussion when he was on the village board at the time, and the village board has determined that it would regulate video gaming through its liquor license process by requiring, for example, if you're a restaurant that wants to have video gaming, you need your underlying restaurant liquor license, and then you would get what's called a Class 23 liquor license that would allow video gaming as an accessory use. And for video gaming cafes, they have to get just a Class 22 liquor license because which allows for video gaming cafes. The village board has been concerned about potential proliferation of video gaming throughout the village, the appearance it would have. To date, it's been successful. It's resulted in nice income stream for the village because it's a taxed use by the state, which the municipality gets a portion of. But it is growing and growing, and the village board at least feels like some limits should be appropriate. With the video gaming cafes, they feel like the village is pretty tapped out with the current number of video gaming cafes, and they've always indicated they don't want to issue any more Class 22 liquor licenses for video gaming cafes in the future. This is a more proactive step by not only taking away that liquor license classification, but also amending the zoning ordinance, which is before you, to eliminate video gaming cafes as a special use. Regarding the restaurants, et cetera, that offer video gaming as an accessory use, it was originally, I know, promoted that if this was a way to help existing bars and restaurants in the village, that if they wanted to come in and apply for video gaming and have video gaming, this would be some added income for the village's existing businesses. And many of the existing businesses in town did apply and do operate video gaming successfully. But many more newer businesses also are seeking video gaming approvals from the village. And we've got a number of them in the downtown area, which is, of course, the pace of redevelopment in the downtown has speeded up. And the village feels like it's reached a saturation point, and it's time to remove video gaming as an accessory use for bars and restaurants in the B1 business district. So those are the two text amendments. The important part is there was a concern about what impact this would have on existing businesses. What if someone, had spent their life building up a great restaurant or a tavern and wanted to now sell it and kind of cash out, and they had video gaming? If the village completely eliminated video gaming as an accessory use in the B1, that would devalue potentially a business. Even though A liquor license is not transferable. A video gaming license from the state is not transferable. The new owner still has to apply. We wanted to make sure we had rules in place that allowed a new owner to at least apply for the appropriate liquor license and continue the operation. Also, we were concerned if this is eliminated, either video gaming cafes or in the B1 district, if someone wanted to expand their building and potentially expand their use of video gaming within their existing building, that might be considered an illegal expansion of what is now a legal nonconforming use. And we wanted these establishments to have the ability to expand within Westmont regulations and state restrictions. So there's language built into footnotes in the text amendment that's before you that allows for expansion. That's the, I guess, long and short of it, and happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, let's start with start with Commissioner Barry.
Sure.
So, John, just to clear up on you said the existing businesses. So then an existing business can keep them if they're selling? If they were potentially selling, they can potentially transfer them, or they would not be eligible?
The new owner who's buying the business that has video gaming would have the right to continue that, provided the board grants the Class 23 liquor license and provided the state grants the video gaming license. And the board, the reason the board would potentially deny a request would be that they don't pass the background check. But by doing this amendment and putting in this footnote that says a new owner can continue the operation, I think is a way for the village board to saying we're not opposed to the number of video gaming establishments in the B1 district that currently exist, and if a new owner is otherwise qualified, they're more than likely going to get their video gaming liquor license.
But new restaurants being built now, no potential down the road.
Correct.
Thank you. That's what I had, Commissioner. Thank you.
Yeah. Commissioner Scales, any comments?
I'm recusing myself on this subject.
Understood. Commissioner Lavoie.
My questions revolve around the what ifs and what happens when property transfers happen. Let's just say we have the scenario where we have a property that has one of these licenses, and that property is for sale, and the new owner has absolutely no interest in continuing the license. That license gets forfeited. And if we basically say that you can never have a license ever again, that license can't be applied anywhere else in the village. So maybe the approach should be that we cap the number of licenses issued, and if they do become available in the future, an application could be applied for. But we could have a scenario where there's like a transition, like what we see right now with a lot of salons and a lot of things that are happening in downtown in transition. We could see that where licenses go away. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know what precipitated it, but do we have any police activity that suggests that we have problems with these? Or
No.
We don't. We just feel as though that, was there a study done saying that we feel as though we're at absorption, or?
No, it's more the board regularly has applicants come in before them. It's not a feel. It's knowledge of here's the number we have.
Right.
Here's where they're located within the downtown. Here's the signage they put all over their windows.
Sure.
And it's all fine and it's great for the existing establishments, but at least in the opinion of the majority of the board, it has reached a saturation point. They do currently, for all liquor licenses, are capped based on the number. For example, a Class 4 license for a restaurant is capped at however many restaurants have a liquor license in that class. And the board has to vote to increase the number of available licenses to make one available for someone new who wants to come in. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what you're talking about.
Right.
The problem is that if someone is qualified to get a liquor license and they have gotten their state video gaming license already pending village approval, and there's a video gaming establishment right next door and they have more or less an identical restaurant use, the board can't deny that. It can continue to expand. Or if the village does deny it, they might end up in a lawsuit. So they would rather cut it off at the legs now. And if a number of businesses go out of business where they are losing video gaming in the downtown and feel like there's a need to address this, let's say in 5-10 years, they can always do so.
I see. Okay. That explains it.
Good question.
Yeah, I just want to know, like these licenses become almost a commodity then.
But they're not transferable.
Understood.
But it is a commodity to that business. It is a commodity
for sure. To that business. So that all of a sudden that generates a value to that business or that establishment, whatever's there, that I have a gaming license, and if you want to buy it, my property is worth more than a property that doesn't have it. I don't really have a problem with that either. I'm just thinking through the scenarios of, what ifs if we make this happen and we cap it, like we're not going to issue it anymore. These kind of things are going to happen out there. Does it bother me at all? No, it doesn't. It's just it's an observation that's going to happen. It's going to become a commodity. The license will be a commodity for sure. So, but I'm okay with that because, hey, that helps the business owners downtown. If their business is worth a lot more with a gaming license already attached, so be it. I'm okay with that for sure. Hooray for them. So as long as it's okay to, that the village board could come back and say, we want to revisit this later because some of these transitions have eliminated these and it has become an income for the village, and maybe we revisit it later, that's good too. So I kind of think that this is a really good thing.
It is an evolving industry, and the board has modified how it's regulated it over time because it was learning about this industry at the same time owners and operators were learning about it, at the same time the public was learning about it. And so now I think after having some history of operation, I think the majority of the board came to the conclusion this is how they'd like to proceed.
Understood. Thank you, John. No more questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Peterson.
I don't understand the logic, whatever, downtown versus not downtown. I don't. What is that based on?
I believe it goes back to the downtown's very compact area without separation between buildings. Right, a lot of the buildings are attached to each other, and they feared. I don't know if fear is the right word, but had, I think, a concern about if you have a row of restaurants, all of which have plastered their windows with video gaming signs and 777 and the A-frame sandwich boards out on the sidewalk with dice and promoting video gaming inside, that was an image that they didn't want. They didn't want downtown to turn into a mini Vegas, essentially. They wanted to help the local businesses. They feel like they did. They've provided years and years and years of opportunities to existing businesses to come in and apply for video gaming. So I think that was my understanding of the rationale.
Yeah.
Which you may, again, agree with, disagree with, but that there's always been a concern, at least with some trustees, about oversaturation of video gaming downtown. And now with the new developments coming in and potential new redevelopment going on, there seems like there could be a makeover of the image of downtown in some ways, and they didn't want to see that makeover including a slew of new video gaming establishments.
Okay, and I have this correctly that those cafe ones, those aren't going to be allowed anywhere at all from now on.
Right, but the existing ones can continue to operate forever.
But if somebody comes in, no matter what zoning district, the village says we don't allow them anymore.
That's correct.
Okay, I did discuss this with Joe, some of the aspects, because I was a little confused on it, but I think I got it now. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Mr. Thomas.
Now, I understand a lot more now with all the discussion and that, and I support it.
All right. Commissioner Van Buren.
Wouldn't it be appropriate to have some kind of idea of what we're talking about here? For example, what is the annual revenue of an average cafe? That's just that this is their main, and what kind of income does it increase for the restaurant that's mainly a restaurant on the average?
We do have financial information that we get from the State Gaming Commission per establishment. I didn't include that in my report because I wasn't sure how relevant it was to
would help
a zoning decision.
Yeah.
I can say that the video gaming cafes, on general, pull in more revenue from video gaming than, let's say, a restaurant that has it as an accessory use. They both are limited in the total number of video gaming terminals they can have, which is 6. So video gaming cafes don't have any more terminals or necessarily bigger space than a restaurant that offers the same thing. And we've also done an analysis of the percentage of food and beverage sales where, let's say, it's a restaurant compared to video gaming. And they're still, every single establishment, with exception of one outlier, has, I think, at least 60+% of their revenue from food and beverage sales, showing that this is an ancillary use to the restaurant use. Now I forget your question.
Okay.
Oh, the revenue. Yeah, the dollars are. I think it's a nice bump for these businesses, and the village gets a slice of that, for sure.
If I could, just on the gaming in general, that was created by the state as a bonus for these restaurants and bars and liquor licenses and truck stops and whoever else qualifies for that. Not every business got that. If you're a vacuum, cleaner repairman down here, you don't get it. So to me, the non-transferring to the next owner is irrelevant, because this owner reaped the benefit. I don't think it should be built into the value, and I do think that new owner should have to go through those guidelines that the village has set up, the year in place and so forth. But my question becomes, can we, it seems like it limits the B1 downtown, and I really I think some of the new developments are banking on getting these machines down here. I mean, I think that one in particular that's part of their plan. So I just question how that handcuffs a business that's,
I think the ones that are already in process are committed.
Well, this one doesn't even have their liquor license yet, so they can't have it. The one I'm thinking of, which I believe is B1.
Their eligibility is committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this does create a handicap for a new restaurant that wants to come in and get that additional revenue from video gaming. And they could ask the question, why shouldn't I be able to have the same benefits as any other restaurant in downtown? And that's a fair question. And I told you the majority of the village board's reasoning for proceeding with this. We'll see if they vote to approve it when it's up tomorrow night. But they wanted to consider this before year end so that it would be on the books and applicable for next year.
My last question was for John, and that is, and for maybe staff, and that is, are there any pending applications that will be impacted?
There is one pending application, and there's also amendments to the Class 23 liquor license classification, and it's going to state that if you have an existing license application on file with the village, you're essentially grandfathered and you can proceed and get your video gaming license if approved.
So there's a crack in the door open for anything that's in process?
Anything where an application's fully complete, application's in hand and in the process of being reviewed.
Is there a date associated with that?
If the ordinance gets passed tomorrow, that's the cutoff.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Well, good discussion. I appreciate that. Chair would entertain a motion to approve PZC 106-2022 text amendments to the zoning ordinance to remove video gaming cafes as a special use in the B2 General Business District and to remove video gaming as a permitted accessory use in the B1 Limited Business District.
So move, Barry.
Second, Thomas.
Have a motion and second. Discussion on the issue. Seeing none, roll call,
This is
please.
one
Yes.
package deal, right? We're not.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Not okay.
We probably could have done that.
It is, but if you want to break this out and vote separately, I have a motion to amend the motion that's on the table to vote separately on the Class 22 zoning amendment versus, I'm sorry, the video gaming amendment versus the amendment for accessory uses. You can certainly do so.
Because I think I'm like with Jill with the same thing. I don't like the no downtown. I like the idea of the no more cafes, but I don't like the limiting of downtown. And I think more for future development, and I think a level playing field. I never like when government comes in and says, you guys can have it, but now you can't. And I just don't like when government does that, whether it's in my business or anyone else's. So, that I guess, and that's why I wanted to, I should have asked you beforehand, John, but the approval, I guess when we make the motion just to make that change, is that?
Yeah, for following Robert's Rules of Order, which we loosely do, Jill should make a motion to amend the motion that's on the table to separate these approvals into two votes. We'd have to second her motion, vote on her motion, and if her motion is approved, then we'd vote on the video gaming cafes and then the accessory use video gaming in the B1.
Okay, what John said.
All right, so you want to make that motion
I wanna
to
make that
separate
motion.
this into two different
Separate them
votes?
between the video gaming and B.
And Harold, do you want to second that?
Yeah, I second that.
Okay.
So we have a motion.
And any further discussion on the separation of the two? Seeing none, roll call to separate this into two amendments.
Okay, Commissioner Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes. Commissioner Lavoie,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Scales,
Recused.
okay,
Recused.
and Chairman Richard Carmichael.
No. Okay, so request from the Village of Westmont regarding the following. 1. Text amendment to the zoning ordinance to remove video gaming cafes as a special use in the B2 General Business District. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion Peterson.
Second, Thomas.
Second Thomas.
Okay.
More discussion?
Peterson,
Seeing
just a
none,
minute.
roll call.
Just a minute. Peterson, motion.
Yes. Thomas, second.
Thomas, second. And Commissioner Lavoie,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Scales,
Recused.
okay. Commissioner Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes, and Chairman Carmichael.
Yes. And second, a text amendment to the zoning ordinance to remove video gaming as a permitted accessory use in the B1 Limited Business District.
So moved, Barry.
Second.
Second.
Motion Barry, second Peterson. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Scales,
Recused.
Cruz, okay. Commissioner Barry,
No.
Commissioner Peterson,
No.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes, Commissioner Lavoie,
Yes.
and Chairman Carmichael.
Did you vote, Craig? Okay. Yes. So we have 5-2 Motion passes. Both motions.
I have 2 on 1 recusal.
Yes, okay.
4-2.
4-2, because it's a recusal.
4-2.
Both motions pass. So you will be presenting this tomorrow night, John?
That's correct.
To the village board. Okay. Yeah, I remember, if you remember a few years ago when we went through this, it was going to be 1,000 feet in every direction from one, and can't be with so close to a school, and we beat this to death for about 3 meetings. But I guess overall it has been, it is good for the village. Okay, any miscellaneous comments from anyone before we adjourn? Joe.
Mr. Chair, so under general updates, the next scheduled meeting is for January 11th. I'd like to wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because this is the last time we'll see each other before then. We will be following up this meeting with an email to each of you. So we've got a couple cases. We need to start exploring special meeting dates. So I'm proposing February 22nd and March 22nd as potential dates. So we'll send out a poll to see who's available. So those are both Wednesdays. Basically, since Planning and Zoning meets once a month, these are 2 weeks between. So basically, it would be evenly split between the either the January meeting and the February meeting, or evenly split between February and. I guess I'm saying that wrong, aren't I?
No, I was just looking at my calendar.
So John's not available. He's shaking his head no. But basically, we'll be sending out that poll to try to gauge, and that's in preparation just in case we have to continue one of these meetings when we can rehear it as we move forward.
Joe, President's Day is on Monday, February 20th. That's kind of like a week where some people might be away.
Okay. But when we send out that poll, we're basically we said, well, let's pick a date that's midpoint between meetings, and we'll keep it on a Wednesday because we want to make sure we don't interfere with any other meetings that might be occurring in this. So it's open. And, based on the response, we'll figure out if we can still have a quorum, who's available. But I just want you to know that you'll probably get an email that says, check your Westmont email. We sent a poll out for that. Also, there was a harassment training today that I know a lot of the commissioners either had today or had a week or two ago. There will be an email sent to your village email. They recorded that meeting, so you can watch the meeting, the recording, but there is a form that needs to be filled out, returned back to me before the end of the year. That can be scanned and sent back to us. You can, basically, I need to get those back to HR, and if they don't get them by the first of the year, they ask me to start going after everyone and saying, please get it done and please get us the form back.
Is there anyone who has not completed the training?
I haven't for the new one. I have previously, so I don't know if
it's the annual one, so
it's annual.
But Joe, I'm having trouble with my email. Matter of fact, I've been dodging IT. We've been back and forth. So if they could just copy me, Jamie does a lot of times on my other email, and then I'm supposed to get together with Glenn, and he's supposed to get it ironed out.
We can try to accommodate and figure that out.
Yeah. So if you don't see me on the survey, I'm not participating. I might not be getting it. So.
Okay. Yeah, but it's not that anyone has to go take a class since they used it. It's just they recorded the class so that they recorded both. The one today I think was an hour and a half. I think it was a half hour shorter than the other one. So I don't know which one they're sending you, but you have to watch it and then sign a document that says you watched it.
But it's my understanding this must be completed before the end of this year, or any of us cannot participate on this commission.
I believe
is that correct?
I believe last year what was done was you were not permitted to participate in the meeting the first January of the year if you hadn't completed it. So I can't specifically remember, but I know there was a point where I was sending out emails to folks saying you haven't gotten it done, so you can't sit. So.
John, there's a question. I have a question as to whether we should even take it. The I have a similar position with the sanitary district, and our legal department said you're not an employee. Why are you taking?
I'm still looking into that. The way this is a state statute requirement. The way the statute is worded, it applies to anyone and everyone, including elected and appointed officials. And I've since been reaching out to different municipalities, and I've gotten conflicting results. I know one said, well, we think it might apply, but we're not taking it anyhow. And some said, yes, we're making our elected and appointed officials take it. So still looking into that. For now, please take the training. And maybe next year we'll get some clarification from the state.
But I'm just the messenger from HR, so that because they know that not everyone here checks their village emails all the time. So,
Okay. Chair would accept a motion to adjourn.
So move, Thomas.
Thomas says so moved. Do I have a second?
Second, Scales.
Second, Scales. All in favor, raise your right hand. Right hand.
My other
This meeting is adjourned.